Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming in a new Baldurs Gate video. Today we're talking about the pretty intimidating but popular concept of multi-classing with powerful benefits that do require some important sacrifices. It's clearly a safer choice and a simpler one to just stick to a main class and reach max level with it. But you know, multiclassing doesn't have to be so complex. In fact, there's good options for most classes and for straightforward reasons. Today we're going to discuss why you might want a multiclass, the pros and cons as it were, and my recommendations. So what is a multiclass? It's basically a combination of multiple classes, usually two. It's very likely that you'll have 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 4 levels into a secondary class while having most points into a main one. This is because of breakpoints, which at say just one level, you can learn level 6 spells via reading scrolls as a wizard, or at level 4 you've got your feats for said class as some examples of that. The danger though is, as I mentioned, creating a weak version of either class you're combining, which would have just been better served as one complete class. Baldurs Gate 3 has a level cap of 12, so whenever you level you can choose any of the classes to invest in. Because the restrictions are so light in this game, the choice is really down to you rather than being fully restricted, but there are concerns for a class and its level. It comes down to the unlocks. Martial classes will get an extra attack. Let's say you're a barbarian and you just hit level 5. Well, now you can casually attack in full twice per turn, which is massive for obvious reasons. But like I said, martial classes, so barbarian, fighter, monk, paladin, and ranger all get this at level 5. These classes will often want to consider then at least level 5 before you even think about multiclassing. There's proficiencies too, meaning your weapons, your skills, even saving throws, which essentially weakens in value the higher level you are when you choose these. They're like a foundation to build your classes on, so take fighter at level 1, you'll get your martial proficiencies there compared to taking fighter at a higher level and having less of them. There's also subclasses, of course. Most classes will hit level 3 and actually be able to unlock a subclass, but some, like Paladin, can choose their subclass instantly at level 1, which is obviously why Paladins are a relatively popular multi-class pick, specifically with caster classes, hence the popular term of Sorcerer, though there are some issues with that in Baldurs Gate 3 specifically. The benefits of class features can't be understated though. Let's look at rogues. They unlock their cunning action for hide, dash, and disengage at only level 2. That means you're able to use a bonus action to dash or hide mid-combat instead of a full action, which is pretty incredible, and is a good example of a class feature being important and valuable, and again unlocked at varying levels per class. What about feats? You get these at level 4, 8, and 12, which would mean you're giving up that third feat unless you're at level 8 and 4 on 2 classes. It's important not only because the many feats and their passive effects can really create builds and playstyles, but also the option to take ability improvements instead of a feat, which is very popular for good reason, pushing your stats higher to increase their modifiers. And that's most often the best choice for a first feat, and will weigh heavily in your multi-class choices. Lastly on this topic, we need to think about spells, meaning spell slots, spell levels, spell scaling. All of that's going to be affected by multi-classing, and it can be fairly complicated. Casters get high level spell levels and spell slots as they level up, right? But there's synergy in this concept. What if you're leveling 2 classes that both benefit from spell levels? You'll gain spell slots at the same rate compared to normal, but have lower spell levels on those slots. Higher level spells are usually stronger, so it would be bad to miss out on that. This has its own rules. There's kind of like full casters, half casters, and even like 1/3 casters in this game. Full casters are something like sorcerers or wizards, druids, bards, clerics. These increase their slots alongside their level equally. But paladin and ranger, their values are half, they're half casters, so at level 3 you'll have 1.5 slots. But they do round it up, thankfully, meaning it's more forgiving than you might have thought. A ranger at level 3, which is a half caster, combined with just say a level 1 full caster like a wizard, this is where we'd get to round up. So a level 3 ranger has 1.5 spell levels, right? Combine that with a level 1 wizard, that's 1 spell level there. 1.5 plus 1 is 2.5, and then it gets rounded up to 3, meaning we'd have a level 3 spellcaster, resulting in 4 level 1 spell slots and 2 level 2 spell slots. I better then explain what that means. Basically, at every odd level of a spellcaster level, you gain the next power level of a spell. That means as you're starting out at level 1, you just have your first level spells. Then when you hit level 3, you get your second level spells. At 5, you get your third level spells, and so on and so on. Further, on top of all of that, spells actually scale from different stats depending on what class. Bard scales its spells through charisma naturally, but Cleric would rather have wisdom. Having 2 separate main stats that scale your spells would be a problem there, and means that combination obviously has issues. In contrast to that, Warlock's main stat is charisma, just like Bard or Sorcerer, so those would pair better together when you consider spell scaling specifically. In conclusion, that should let you know that multiclassing spellcasters can be some complicated business, and is definitely one of the harder multiclassing options out there. So with all that stuff explained, maybe now you can see why level splits are important, which class is taken first because of proficiencies, which side of the level split is higher and why, and this is why it's more common to see level splits of 1 and 11, 2 and 10, 8 and 4 as some examples. Here's a general way to look at it. Does the level 1 or 2 class feature and unique abilities actually help me significantly in what I'm trying to do on my main class, more than just being like 1 or 2 levels higher in your main class? That concept doesn't cover everything, but it should help a lot. Now let's do some recommendations and some examples for multiclasses. Let's first mention spellcasters. You can learn up to level 6 spells from just reading a scroll found in game as a level 1 wizard, which is crazy. That means any spellcasting class would consider just level 1 as wizard for that passive benefit. You could be a sorcerer, a cleric, or a bard, whatever true spellcaster you like, and still benefit from just 1 level in wizard by quite a lot. The 2 considerations in this case would be reaching your ideal spellcaster level, probably level 11, before then finally picking up the level 1 wizard. That would mean you still have your max level slots, including 1 6th level spell slot at that. You'd just be giving up your 3rd feat option. With 2 feats though, you should still be able to reach your max 20 in your main casting stat, so a 3rd feat is a worthy trade there. Sorcerer in particular can use meta magic on the full wizard spell list for just level 1 wizard. On the other hand, what about something like a battle mage? A classic concept where you're a spellcaster with more survivability than normal. That could be a wizard that's level 10 or even 11 with 1 or 2 levels into something like fighter. The order you level here would actually matter though in regards to proficiencies. So you'd need to take 1 fighter level first to actually benefit from heavy armor, then the following 11 levels in wizard to still then reach your level 6 spell slot. You could even go fighter level 2 first instead, which would then let you unlock the incredible action surge ability for an extra action to use that turn, meaning an extra cast in many cases. Very nice. You just lose out on your level 6 spell slot, so that'd be up to you. How about the incredible Agonizing Eldritch Blast at level 2 Warlock? That scales its damage based on your charisma, making it one of the most effective cantrips in the game. Combine that with a class that actually benefits from charisma, and that's an effective multi-class concept right there. That could be a bard, sorcerer, or even paladin. Paladin could be a great pick in fact, because paladin unlocks its subclasses instantly at level 1, which is fairly rare. That could then lead to, say, a high level warlock and a low level paladin, probably something like 10 and 2. 2 levels in paladin to start with, unlocking your divine smite and the proficiencies, then full committing to your warlock. Or you could even swap that around and focus on paladin more. 10 levels in paladin would mean you'd still get the level 5 extra attack, and you'd benefit from the 2 levels in warlock that would then end up ultimately netting you Eldritch Blast in agonizing version. How about a level 3 subclass example? A barbarian combined with a fighter could be incredible. At 3 levels into barbarian you get your subclass, and the wild heart subclass in particular with bare heart is super good. Its rage skill lets you half the damage from everything but psychic, which is obviously super strong. You just have to make sure to keep attacking each turn to keep the rage up. Meanwhile, at level 3 fighter, you not only have your level 2 action surge for the extra action, but then at 3 you get the fighter subclasses. Superiority die abilities from Battlemaster subclass is a really good pick in that case. So in this example, I would say rushing to your 5th level in fighter to begin with, then pick up Battlemaster on the way, unlocking the extra attack at this point, then going for 3 levels in barbarian, getting wild heart and the bare heart specifically, and then with your remaining levels, just finish up fighter. That could be a really strong combo. But yeah, hopefully all of that and these various examples gives you the inspiration and concepts to consider. If you guys have any extra information or more multi-class suggestions, you could drop them in the comments, you might help someone. For now though, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.